funny. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are streaming live into the Woman 40 Plus Getting Ache Free Facebook group, and I'm so excited to have with us today really an absolutely fantastic peri and menopause focused naturopath out of the UK, Sara Southgate. Sara, thanks so much for being with us today. We are talking about Ozempic results without the Ozempic. Let's jump straight through it to it.
Yeah, cool. Thank you, Tracy. Yeah, so obviously, for many women in perimenopause, weight loss is a thing, right? And it becomes a thing where it never was a thing. And you'd be blind if you hadn't noticed all the talk that is out there about these GLP-1 agonists, which are the weight loss jabs. So Ozempic, Mounjaro, Wegovy, they all contain this thing called a GLP-1 agonist. Yeah, so it's fascinated me when they came out to actually understand what it does in the body, and then I started to research into the science. And guess what? GLP-1 is something that we produce in our bodies, and it's something that the standard Western diet switches off. So if you've spoken to anyone who takes the weight loss jabs, they're like, the food noise is gone. I'm not hungry. So it really switches that off. Um, but Big Pharma has copied this molecule, this hormone, from the human body. So we can actually start to look into how can we switch it on naturally. And that's a rabbit hole I've been down for
Mm,
quite some time. And yeah, it's
right.
fascinating stuff.
And why I'm so excited that you're speaking to us about this today is that, like, I know many people who've had wonderful results with Ozempic, but the truth is it comes with side effects. So if I could lock into that naturally, right? Exciting, because yeah, the truth is, we're not talking about getting, skinny or bikini body ready in this group. In my world, our focus is on looking great and feeling great, and fixing your back, hip, and neck aches. But the
Yeah.
truth is, the weight thing like becomes a thing.
It does become a thing. But also, I mean, the thing about GLP-1 and those jabs is actually they are anti-inflammatory as well,
So
right?
interesting,
So that it does fit really well with for the
right?
women that you work with. And, as we spoke before, perimenopause is a long-term low-grade inflammatory state, right?
Yes,
Why we've got all these aches and pains and we're
absolutely.
feeling old. So yeah, so it's really important, I think, to learn how to switch it on yourself, because if you are taking those jabs, you're not going to be on them forever. And we also don't know what are the effects of being on these things long term. This is an experiment right now.
Mhm,
The people taking it long term are the study.
mhm.
So we know what happens short term, and it does appear to have lots of effects. But when it just overrides your body's, it's a metabolic process. We don't know what will happen in the long term. So on it, off it, coming off it, you need a plan and you need a way to integrate that into your life naturally so that you can transition from taking the meds to actually enabling your body to do it for itself.
Amazing. So let
Mm.
us know, how do we how do
Ah,
we access our natural GLP-1s?
yeah, how do we
Natural
do that? Well,
Ozempic.
it's a hormone, right? And food is information. It's information for your body, and there's a massive link between what we eat and how we function. And one of the ways it actually links into your microbiome as well. The microbiome dysregulation. So, the balance of good, bad bacteria is really important. So if you've got stuff like bloating, constipation, gas, skin problems, fatigue, those are all signs that your microbiome is out of whack. Um, and GLP-1 is a hormone that's produced in your gut lining, right? So it really interacts with
Mm.
the good bacteria in your gut. And it goes from there to the brain, interacts with the vagus nerve. So it's getting the signaling right. Um, and yeah, so constructing a diet and lifestyle that does that for you is really key.
Amazing. I'm just checking in the Facebook group if we have any questions. We are live, so if you have any questions, just pop them down for Sara. So let us know what kind of things do you recommend people do to try and access this natural creation of the GLP-1s and what interferes with it?
So the stuff that interferes with it is our standard Western diet. So this basically, this whole system is lying dormant. It's like it's been switched off by the standard Western diet. So when I'm talking standard Western diet, I'm talking lots of inflammatory food, lots of fast white carbs, lots of sweet tasting stuff. So not just right? But pasta and bread and pastry, they're all sweet, all those white carbs. You chew them long enough, they almost turn to sugar in your mouth. So that
Mm.
kind of food will switch off your body's ability to produce this GLP-1. And what we want more of is the stuff with the fiber and the stuff with the flavor, right? Think about your tongue. You've got areas of your tongue which taste sour, salty, bitter, savory, and sweet. And really, the only one we are using on a daily basis is our sweet taste receptor. Now, those taste receptors run all the way through your digestive tract, and they're not getting stimulated. And that's what we need to do.
Oh, sorry. I was just on mute there.
Yeah.
Um, I try and introduce some bitter foods into my diet. Is this some bitter foods and some fermented foods? Are these the kind of suggestions that people yeah.
Yes, absolutely they are. So bitter and fermented foods are definitely the way to go. So the fermented foods interact via your gut, yeah, and they support the microbiome and the signaling that comes from there. And
Hmm.
then bitter foods, absolutely, yeah, really
It takes
important.
some getting used to.
Yeah,
It's like I almost
yeah,
have to force myself at first, right, to eat those bitter leafy greens. What other kinds of bitter foods? Um, because yeah, it's so interesting what you're saying about these different areas of the tongue and how we've just got this sweet area that's kind of just on all the time and always a feed me, Seymour, feed me, right?
yeah,
But
yeah,
I found personally, and maybe we can talk a bit more about this, is that like I had to go out of my way to kind of reignite the
yes,
bitter taste buds to the point that it's actually quite enjoyable now. So, any
yeah.
advice on how people can do that?
Well, it's really interesting. So one of the things I do in my group program is that when they start, we'll give them like a piece of 85% dark chocolate, right? So, and then mostly they're like, oh my God, that tastes disgusting, right? Really bitter. But give them like 6, 7, 8 weeks down the line, they try it again. They're like, ooh, now it tastes nice. So we have to re-educate our taste buds because basically, if you are trying to compete against sugar and highly refined food, you've got no chance because it tastes so good. But once you take that stuff out, suddenly an apple tastes really sweet,
Yes,
right? So it is about that palatability of these foods. Um, it does change because you can't compete against refined sugar. You just cannot. It's so, so sweet and so intense for your taste buds.
right. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, I mean, I have a piece of bitter dark chocolate as my
yeah,
kind of dessert
yeah,
after my meal before I close the kitchen for the
yeah,
night. So you were saying that adding some bitterness to your food helps with the GLP-1s. What
yes.
other kinds of things?
So the bitterness is really important. So stuff like olives, um, radicchio, that purple lettuce that you get, it's often in
Hmm.
bagged salad mixes, green peppers, they are really bitter. There is a an Asian food called bitter melon which is actually juiced to treat diabetes. That is incredibly bitter, but you would make
Hmm.
a curry from it. So we're just looking to introduce this flavor into our diet on a regular basis to
Ah,
stimulate. those receptors and set free that natural system that's waiting for us.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. Well, thank you so much for coming to speak with us. Hope we
Yeah.
can talk again next month, a bit more. If you loved this, we're going to do these short segments because I think having a powerful takeaway is so important for everybody. So
Mhm.
thank you, Sarah. If you love today's tip, I'm like, punish me with the dark top chocolate. Yeah, at the beginning, it was like a bit of a like, this is not pleasant at all, but now I look so forward to it.
Yeah.
So thank you. Let me know in the comments if you're watching this on the replay. If you love these short tips by Sarah, I think they are absolutely golden, and working with Sarah is absolutely golden. So let people know how they can be in touch with you and what you offer for. I know you specifically work with perimenopausal women, but do you work with postmenopausal as well?
I work with women in all stages of menopause, women who want to stay HRT free, particularly women for whom HRT is not doing enough. And you'll find me on Facebook, on LinkedIn, Sara Southgate. I'm also on Instagram. And I've actually got a seminar coming up on the 17th of June about specifically what to do to reawaken your GLP-1 agonists and switch off your appetite naturally so that you can reinstall those habits and
Mhm.
reinstall the parts of your body that are designed to serve you, and switch off not just appetite, but inflammation in your body too.
Huge. The inflammation
Yeah.
connection is major. So please, if you can send us the link, we will put
Yeah.
that in the comments and in the description. And I will be there. That is for sure. And I hope many people from my community join me as well. Thank you for being with us today, Sarah.
Okay,
Bye.
cheers.